Hey, Funko lovers, welcome to an episode of the Funko Friends podcast. I'm your host, Johnny Funko, with my co-host, Steve Kine.
Hey, guys.
And today, on episode 81, we have the amazing, the awesome...
Mr. Techbot.
Let's get into it. Welcome.
What's going on? What's going on?
Nothing. Just a chill Saturday.
Yeah, you're like, wait, Saturday? Yes, Saturday.
It's been a long week.
Yep. And I can't believe it's almost June.
Yeah.
Already.
Yep.
This month's kind of flew by a bit.
Yes, it has.
So, do you want to say
Just want to say hi to a few people. Chase's Kingdom, welcome.
hi there, Chase? And Christina, always a pleasure to see you.
Anthony Blaze.
Anthony Blaze as well.
Humble, welcome, Humble.
Hey there, Humble. Welcome, guys. Good to see you on this Saturday afternoon, evening.
Yep. So let's get into these questions. So how did you come up with your YouTube name? It's kind of unique.
Well, my YouTube journey has been kind of odd. I think I always wanted to do something like this, and I was attempting to do a blog at one point, and my wife looked at me. She goes, you're not a writer. You need to do YouTube and stuff like that. And, so we kind of went into it, and, I didn't really want to do, like, you see all these mystery box stuff and things like that. I didn't really want to do that. So I got into it doing tech reviews. That was what I started with. And some of the videos are still up there. But I got into doing tech reviews, and the name came from, figuring out doing tech reviews, and I was heavily watching Mr. Robot at the time. If you ever watched that show that came around, I love computers, so it kind of worked into that realm. And so that's how the name very much came about, was doing tech and, Mr. Robot kind of mixed. And then, of course, moving into Funkos, and then now moving into Disney. So just kind of stuck.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I like the name. It's very unique.
Mr. Techbot, yeah.
Well, it kind of worked out when you see, everyone, it kind of stood out in a lot, especially when I got into the Funko type community, because it didn't have, Funko, or it didn't have anything like that in the name, or Pop or something like that. And then, of course, when, Funko was doing their thing around with trying to hit people up with changing names and stuff like that, it's like, well, I ain't got to worry about any of that, so I'm all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I like that, how he started off with the other, we'll get into it later, but yeah, how you started off doing tech reviews instead of Funko. But anyway, we're just going to say hi to a few others.
I just want to say hi to my brother, Tyler. Granny Joe, welcome in. Thank you for coming in.
Granny Joe.
Such a great supporter.
Yes.
Funko PDX.
Hey there, PDX.
You want to say that next name?
Riff MK.
Welcome.
Hello.
Johnny, welcome.
Hola, Johnny. We got another Johnny in the chat.
Yep. Thank you guys for coming in.
Yes, welcome, guys.
What made you want to create a YouTube channel? What pushed you?
I guess just maybe finding a hobby. Like I said, I was into computers. At one point I was going to school for computer science, and I was learning computer languages. I quickly learned I don't have the brain power to do that. People that do computer programming, I mean, you gotta have the mind for it. But, like I said, I was always into it and wanted to do something. And I loved getting into video editing, stuff like that. And, I started watching some videos and, how to start. And the biggest thing everyone said was just do it. You're going to screw up. It's going to be bad in the beginning, but the more you do it, the better it gets. So, I had my cell phone, and just kind of still use my cell phone today to do all my videos. Just I've upgraded the equipment around it a whole lot more.
Makes sense. So did we. We kind of started off a little bit rough, at least with the tech part, right?
Yes.
It took a while for you to find the right camera. I don't do any of this stuff because I'm not very savvy when it comes to what's a good quality camera, what's not, sort of deal. But you did the research and
Yeah.
we found like what works, and same with our microphone. And just to get it a better, clear picture and a clear sound, it takes time, right?
Yeah,
And money.
I'd love to. There's some great cameras out there, and they're really nice, but I'm not ready to drop $1,000 on a camera just yet. when I'm already paying that much for my phone, so I figured it can do just as much, so I'm all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, Kenneth.
Kenneth, thank you for joining us.
So what YouTubers do you like and kind of get inspiration from or look up to?
I watch a lot of stuff that probably people wouldn't think of. Of course, as far as videography, stuff like that, I do subscribe to Casey Neistat. Love his work. I love everything he does. Try to come up with ideas with it and stuff like that. Wayne is, I'll give it to Wayne, is a big inspiration to me. We bounce ideas off each other. But as far as personally into YouTube, I follow a lot of Disney people like Tim Tracker, Paging Mr. Morrow, the Mammoth Club, stuff like that. And then, even more deeper, I'm weird. I actually get into a lot of like ghost hunter type shows.
Cool.
One of my favorite being Mindseed TV. Just, I don't know. It very could be fake, but there's a small part of me that does believe that a lot of that stuff, there's a lot of things out there that we just can't explain. So I have a weird fascination for it. And when I lived in Vegas, I had a friend of mine that was in a ghost hunting group, and I was almost going to do it. And then my wife's like, no, you watch it from your couch. Because if there is, then there is things out there that can attach themselves, and we just don't want to bring that into our lives. So,
I see.
We decided not to take that chance to go into that realm.
Right.
So your wife was more concerned with a spirit or something, like having a residue or something attached to you, and you bring it home. So she's kind of believes too. It sounds like she's into paranormal, or she gets that there could be something. You're not something to tinker with, or
yes, it's definitely not something to screw around with. To be honest with you, whether it's true or not, you can't doubt that there isn't things in this world we can't answer, and things happen, but why take that chance?
Right. I'm just curious. Are you a fan of Brandon Hill? Do you know who that is?
That I have not heard of. No.
He's a big Disney fan. He does Disney voices, and he goes to Disneyland and Disney World all the time.
He's hilarious.
Hilarious.
That one I haven't heard. Like I said, so some of the people I watch out here is more, like I said, I haven't met a lot of them. I'm surprised I haven't seen a lot of these people in the parks, because I do go to the parks and around. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I try to grab inspiration from some of them for what I do, right. and maybe try to steal ideas. I don't know, but just try to see. And I look at it as a YouTuber, just like what you guys do. I look at their videos and I try to think, okay, what are they doing camera wise, angle wise, are they going into corners and talking when they're out? How are they, so there's a lot of things that you can learn from outside of just watching the basic content they're giving you. You can pick up small tips from what they do without them actually telling you.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly how we got to do it.
Just want to say thank you to Christina Payne for telling people to go to the pinned link. That's Mr. Techbot's channel.
Thank you,
want to
Christina.
subscribe? That would be amazing. I just want to say hi to Mr. Awesome. And Waynco.
And Waynco in the chat.
I'm sure Wayne's just here to harass me. So
yeah. I thought maybe that might be the case today. Guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
He's sitting there laughing in his chair. He's like, you don't know what I've got.
What makes your channel unique and special? What do you bring to the table, in your opinion?
That's a good question. I think I've had some people ask me this before. I don't know. To be honest with you, I try to be myself. I think when I switched to Disney, it's probably something I should have done a long time ago, almost from the start, but I didn't. I've always been a Disney fan, always been into it. And, I think when I try to bring, whether it's just talking about Funko news or trying to go out to some of the parks and maybe showing, flower and garden or, some food reviews, stuff like that. I just try to be me, and if people want to be attracted towards my, personality, then cool, I try to show a good perspective of things. I like to, change up between, talking stuff like that with showing some good, landscape or something, some good B-roll type film. But, like I said, I to me, again, this is a hobby, really. Sure, would anybody love to make this a full-time thing? Yeah, but you got to remember too, what scares me about that too is when you make it a full-time thing, well, then it becomes a job, and then you got to be on top of it even more. So I'm very into the editing process and very into the filming process, and I just try to bring myself to the people, and if I can help you, better your vacation. I've had some people hit me up and tell me, I think is one time a recent comment was when I did an all-star resort breakfast. I just showed the basics, what you're going to get, what you're going to expect, what you could get for a price, and what, is this something that can be viable before you get out to the parks. And he actually said, hey, there's nobody else doing something of this, thank you, this helped me for getting prepared for my vacation. So again, if I can help bring some comfortability before your vacation, because Disney's not cheap, and if you're prepared, you can save yourself a lot of money while you're out here.
Right.
Okay, so you got some tips and tricks, and this is a great place to eat, or this is not so good.
Steer away from this place.
Yeah, like that's I would love that. Like, especially if we were going to Disney, I'm hoping one day, if you'll go back and watch your videos and be like, now I know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
Well, even in like the Funko news, I try to bring up the top stuff, and I'll try to bring up information like if I know there's a big ride closure coming up or something like that.
Okay.
That way, if people are planning to go, they know that maybe a ride's not going to be open while they're here or something of that nature.
Oh, okay.
Awesome. That's very smart.
We have a few more people. You want to say hi to them?
I'm looking at the chat here. My goodness, got a bunch of people just came in. We got Junior Sicklot. I hope I'm saying that right. Hey there. Your dad's in the chat. Hey John. Dad. And we got Sean. How are you? And I think I got everybody. I think so. Just want to always double check. Did I get everybody?
Yeah, you did. That was only 3 that came in.
Yeah, 3. Okay. Do you want me to? Was there something you wanted me to read?
That one right there.
Granny Joe?
Yeah.
Okay, now I gotta figure out what I'm watching with Sunday morning coffee.
Yeah, because you're here. You don't have to watch the replay.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we're gonna jump in. We're jumping out of YouTube questions. We're gonna jump into Funko questions. So, what was your first Funko ever collected in your collection?
First Funko. Well, let me premise with when I got into this. To be honest with you, into the Funko community, I really didn't do Funkos. As I said, I did tech reviews, and I realized that people don't subscribe to tech reviewers. They just want to get their information on whether they should buy something or not. And so when I got into it, a friend said, hey, get into a nerd channel. I was like, okay. And then collectibles. So I was like, well, no, screw it. I was fighting it before, but I'll do mystery boxes. So my first Funko Pop came from a mystery box, and it was the I still have it right down there. It's the Jack Torrance Funko Pop, the regular one. And I thought it was so cool that I still have it because it was the one that had like the red rum, written on the front and stuff like that. So that's one that I probably, and I don't have any other horror pops besides that. But I've been able to collect both I got the common, I ended up getting the Chase, and I've even got the soda. Some reason I've been attracted to the Jack Torrance ones. Of course, great classic movie, but
yeah.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It's a good movie.
Just want to say hi to Mark Hauser.
Howdy, Mark.
And Arcade Pop.
Arcade, what's up? And I think, yeah, that's it.
So, what was your first Disney Funko Pop you collected?
I had to throw it in
Good
there.
question.
Ooh. That is a question. Wow. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, because you got to remember when I was doing Funkos, I was doing a lot of mystery boxes. So, I was getting stuff I did like, and stuff I didn't like, and I was getting a lot of anime and Fortnite, which I hated. But
Give it to him.
I
thank you.
that is a
Joe.
great question that I mean, I could make up one that I have, but I don't know if it'd be the fact that the truth. It's probably a Marvel pop, to be honest. I mean, because technically Marvel is Disney.
Yeah.
So it's most likely somewhere within that realm, probably of a Captain America of sorts. But yeah, I can't pinpoint 100% what everyone always remembers their first Funko. But that I can't remember. It's especially after doing Disney, my Disney collection is definitely blown up a lot more. But
absolutely.
Yeah. I just want to thank Granny Joe for the $5 donation.
Thank you, Granny Joe.
Watching the live is much better.
Well, that's good. You like to watch the live. I hope the repeats aren't as. I like going back and looking at repeats because I'm like, my voice. I just don't like it. But we're glad to have you here if you watch the live or the replay. But thank you for supporting us financially. It goes to the baby on the way. So very much appreciated. Thank you.
Yep. So how did you get into Funko collecting? Did you hear about it? Did you see it at a store? How did that?
Honestly, I remember seeing Funko Pops, and I think we were at Target one time, and I saw one that did connect to me. I didn't end up buying it, and I actually regret it to this day. And it was an Al Bundy in his Polk High shirt, because I was a huge Married with Children fan. Huh?
What shirt was it? I'm just trying to remember.
It was his Polk High shirt, his 33, his high school jersey for Married with Children.
Yeah. I think I can visualize it because I used to work that show.
I remember having it in the car. Didn't really know anything about Funko, but I saw it and I ended up putting it back. I do regret that one today because I haven't been able to find that one again. But that, and really, like I said, I just got into it with, I opened up my very first and got my very first Funko on camera, doing mystery boxes, and I quickly got the bug on wanting to collect certain things. And like I was big into Ready Player One at the time, so I started going after collecting all those characters and stuff like that. So it was just kind of became an addiction after that. As most of you guys out there that collect Funkos can understanding, and probably gotten to that point in that beginning where it became that just, maybe it was cool at first, and then, you quickly saw another one and saw another one and saw another one, and it just kind of blew up.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The pops right beside Dee's head is all Ready Player One pops.
There's only one of the original set I'm missing, and that's IROC.
Oh yeah, I have IROC.
The blue ones here.
Yeah,
that's Parzival.
Yeah. It was one of my favorite. I stumbled on that movie, and I fell in love with it right away. Great movie. I wish they made a number 2 because they have a book of number 2.
They do. They have Ready Player 2, and I've already read that Spielberg is considering doing it, and writing a script for it. But I mean, I'd like to see them bring the original cast back. I think they casted it fantastic. I think everything about it was great. I'm a big 80s and 90s pop culture person. So those had so much pop culture reference in it. So I think that's what grabbed me in even more. The fact that there was so much of that in there, and it helps you create that connection to a movie or a character or something of that nature.
Yes. It does.
Okay, we got a number chat. Thank you, Luau. You're amazing.
Luau,
another great hells to Techbot.
Yes, thank you, Andrew.
Thank you.
That's wonderful, guys. Thank you so much.
So which Disney Funko Pop is your favorite and why?
I would probably have to say my Walt that's actually just behind me right here. I ever since I became a Disney fan, I became a huge fan of Walt Disney himself. I've read probably 3 or 4 of his, the different, books on the story of his life and stuff like that, and how he grew up. And I became fascinated by Walt himself. And when they finally had come out with, actual Walt Pops, that was the very first one. And luckily it released out here at Disney, so I was able to grab some and pick some up. But ever since then, that's the one. He is the one character that if they ever release a Walt Pop, I have to have it. I've got every single Walt Disney Pop they've released so far. I'm just
amazing.
To me, he's an inspiration and one of the great minds that the world has had, and what he brought to this world, and the way he thought about this world, and the creativity and the progress. And it frustrates me sometimes when you get a lot of, say, news channels, that there's a particular one out there, very big news channel, called www.disney.nt. Now I do still watch them, they're great, but I think the problem a lot of people have is they get used to what is, and they have a hard time with change. And when Disney changes something, yes, maybe it's not always for the best, but you have to continue trying things, and you have to keep progressing. Walt always said, the parks were never going to be finished. They were always going to be progressing and getting better and doing more. And you got to remember these things that he said. You always got to continue moving forward. And that type of mindset, those types of minds only come one in every generation type thing. So, I put that up there with that. But so yeah, Walt is a huge inspiration to me. That's probably my favorite Pops right now.
Oh wow, interesting.
I got a little bit of a history lesson today about Walt Disney. Yeah. I've heard a lot of other things, like documentaries on the man, like not so good stuff I've heard, but I don't know how much is true and how much is just what people, like, word of mouth. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, there's a lot of speculations on different things out there, and stuff like that. And is anybody a perfect person? No. Did he's a lot like our last generation of Steve Jobs. Was Steve Jobs an asshole? Yes, Steve Jobs was, but you can't put away the type of mind he had, the type of vision this guy had. And people with visions, they continue to try to push that envelope. And they don't like when people are like, hey, are you sure? Yes, let's. If we can think about it, it can happen. And that's where their minds go. And I'm sure there's a lot of aspects of him getting on people and pushing people to the limit to get the best out of them. And some people take that as good. Some people not so much. All depends on the person.
Yeah. So. I like how you broke that down. Absolutely. And that's the other thing too about creative, different kind of people. They come up with such crazy ideas, right? But you got to stick out. One of the followers, right? You are one of those people. You're going to have a lot of pushback. It's having that bravery, like you said, being innovative and pushing the limits. And it takes courage and bravery, I think, to do that. So that was really well said. I like that.
And yes, so Mark, let's get back. Over there, Mark over there. I did see the comment, Mark. Yes, the Star Cruiser has not closed yet, technically, but I just released my 5 minutes of Disney. Not to give it a little shameless plug, but I did just release a 5-minute Disney newscast this morning talking about the Star Cruiser closure.
No, that's perfectly fine. Plug away. This is your podcast today. So if you want to say that, awesome. But I didn't know that, and I don't know what the Star Cruiser is. I'm assuming it's Star Wars or something.
No, that's a hotel.
It's a hotel?
It's a hotel. Yes, Star Wars Galactic Star Cruiser was a one-of-a-kind Star Wars type experience. I've said it since the beginning of the opening of that they priced everybody out. And I understand how they priced it because it takes a lot to create that type of experience, from actors to, everybody within that realm to really pull that together. I get it, but it just wasn't viable for the long run, unfortunately. Right. And Star Cruiser had it's going to have its final sailing on or final, I don't even know what they call it, but the final one on the 30th of September. So if you still want to get into it and you want to pay the $5,200 for two people for 2-day, 2-night excursion, try to get in before September 30th.
That's very pricey.
Yeah. Just a side note, I was just going to say, I don't know why this popped into my head, but did you know, and you might know this since you like supernatural stuff, right? Or phenomenons. They have mentioned that there have been some kind of crazy things that happen at Disney. I don't know if it's at the hotels or what, but things that cannot be explained. And again, I don't know how true these stories are, but I have heard of those things too.
Yeah. I've seen some weird videos from Disneyland. I would believe it at Disneyland more than I would at Disney World. Disneyland, of course, was built in earlier days. So it could be, and I've seen one video near the Haunted Mansion that, I couldn't answer. I've seen well-known people try to rework the film to see if it was manipulated, and it wasn't. I'm sure there are some things out there. I know a lot of people that work within Disney that's worked at night, stuff like that. Never seen anything. Like I said, I if there was something, I would put that more on Disneyland than in Disney World. But yeah, most of it, I would probably say 95% of it's fake.
Fake, yeah. Okay.
I just want to say hi to Matt Hatter Pops. He says
Dad!
And he says,
Matt Hatter says, I'm in Orlando, 10 minutes.
You didn't even hit me up beforehand. What's up with that?
I hope you're having a lovely time out there.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Right in my backyard.
How's the weather down there?
It was. I was out mowing the lawn today, and it was probably, I think, 92 degrees. It was hot. It was hot today.
Hot, yeah.
Too hot.
Most and least valued Funko Pop in your collection, if you know. If you don't know, we'll pass on.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't. There was a time there that, when I was doing the mystery boxes, that I was, paying attention more to pricing and stuff like that. Right. I sold probably the highest valued pop I ever had, which was a Funko Freddy as Genie. And I pulled that from a mystery box that Funko gave a long time ago. And I think I ended up selling that for like $600 or something like that. So that was probably, I would say, was the most expensive. But now I don't even scan in pricing of stuff anymore, to be honest with you. Yeah. I get the great part about being a collector now compared to then is then you were always trying to keep up with the newest stuff to do Funko content, stuff like that. Now I collect stuff that I want, and what the value of it is, I really don't care, because it's something I want to be in my collection.
Right.
Okay. Just one other thing. Matt Hatter's like, hey, I'm here for a few more days, Techbot. So I don't know if that's an invitation to maybe get
hit me up on Instagram. Maybe we'll have to meet up sometime in the next couple of days.
Yeah, maybe go for a coffee or a dinner or something if you guys want,
Which Disney Pop would you like to see made that they haven't made yet?
Well, you're gonna have the I'll put this on two levels, because one, being a Disney fan, I really think that I understand they finally made homage and finally did some Funko Pops, but I would really like to see a Roy Disney Pop made, because without Roy, Walt Disney would have never happened. Walt was the brains, but Roy was the money man. Roy knew how to make his brothers financially make his brother's ideas come to life.
Oh, no way.
So Roy is probably one of the most underrated people that come around. A lot of people don't think about him. In fact, there's a great statue of him right in the front entrance area on Main Street with Minnie Mouse on a bench, and it's probably one of my favorite statues. Roy, in fact, Roy, not a lot of people don't know, is Roy actually, because Walt died before Magic Kingdom could open, so Roy finished his brother's dream. There's a great speech you can still find on YouTube today that Roy did on opening day, and then he died 6 months after that.
Right.
Okay, but that's interesting. You have the creative mind doing all the the Disney part or whatever, the Disney magic, if you will, and then you got a practical. And wow, how they work together. I didn't know that about Roy. I absolutely did not. But it's so funny they worked on such perfect levels.
Without Roy, Walt Disney would not be the company it is today at all. He made him and Walt, I'm sure, fought a lot because Walt had grandeur ideas, and when Walt came and said he wanted to build an amusement park, I'm sure Roy was like, "What in the hell? We make movies, not rides."
Yeah.
But they were brothers, and he's the man behind the master type thing, and he's well underrated and underexpressed. So, but other than that, I would probably say the holy grail of all licensing is going to be Nintendo. And the question is, will we ever see a Super Mario Brothers Funko Pop? I don't ever think so, but hey, who knows?
Dare to dream. Okay, so Matt Hatter says, thanks so much. Diane and I might go to Disney tomorrow. Oh, I hope so, because then hopefully you'll take pictures and I'll be able to see at least what Disney World is in Florida, right? Yes?
Disney World in Florida, yes.
Yeah, okay. So at least I'll see what Disney World is compared to Disneyland. What would you recommend between the two of them? I'm just going to take a step over and just say, between the two, have you been to both?
I've been to both LA and of course out here in Disney World. I would love to one day try to make it out to Shanghai to see that one, and as well as the one in Paris, and possibly the one in Japan as well. But I would love to make it all around. But yes, I've been to both coast locations. Great comparisons. If you're a diehard Disney fan, you can go back and forth on great comparisons with legendary rides like Space Mountain, Pirates, stuff like that, and compare the two because they're not identical.
Okay. I didn't know there was two others, France and Shanghai.
There's more. You got Florida, you got California, you got Shanghai, you got Japan, you got Hong Kong, and you got Paris.
Come on, Canada! One more in Canada. Close by Toronto. Okay, but for the two that you've been to, would you suggest one or the other, or are they both wonderful?
You can't take anything away from Disneyland. It's the first, it's the original. There's always a great thing when you go there, especially being a Walt fan like myself, because right above the firehouse over there was Walt's actual apartment that he actually lived in for a time frame. He actually lived in the park. And they keep a light on. If you ever go to Disneyland, you'll see a light on right above the firehouse that is to represent Walt looking over his park. So you can't take anything away from the history that Disneyland brings, because Walt did make that one and bring that one, and it's great. But I still prefer Disney World because they took the problems at Disneyland and corrected them in Disney World. The problems, I'm saying, like narrow walkways. There's still a lot of narrow walkways. It gets bottlenecked really bad out there. Whereas they have wider walkways out here in Disney World because they had the space to work with, and things like that. Now I am jealous of them having a New Orleans Square, and we don't. But you take some, you win some, and you're always going to have a comparison between the two.
Okay. But I kind of like the OG. For my first experience, if I get to go any day, OG. I think I want to go to the Los Angeles
You have to go to the original just because that's the original park.
Yeah.
Right. Now, to me, being a Magic Kingdom, Disney World fan, we have Cinderella. Sorry, we have Cinderella's castle out here. It's very big. It's very bold. Where they have Sleeping Beauty's castle, and
okay, that's hard.
You can get into the people that argue against that hate Cinderella or are more of a Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty's castle is kind of wimpy, to be honest with you. It's about half the size in comparison to Cinderella's castle. But of course, they're all beat by the Enchanted Castle in Shanghai, which is twice the size of Cinderella's castle.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. This is getting more complicated as we talk about it. Like, I thought I had it set in stone, I know where I want to go. But no, he's giving me
the big difference between two is when you go to Disneyland, they have their 3 resorts. And you can stay at a lot of hotels that basically surround Disneyland out there. And a lot of times we used to do that when we used to go out there. When I lived in Vegas, we used to go to Disneyland and stay at one of the close hotels. And we just used to walk, to into the parks. Yeah. You can't do that in Disney World. Disney World is about 30 square miles in size. And to go from one end to the other, it's roughly about a 30-minute drive. So you can't really do that out here. Now that there's a lot of good partner, resorts that are in the surrounding areas that are great and fantastic, but you can't just go walk into it and it's so close. And that's the main reason Walt started the Florida project in the first place, is because all these places started popping up, and then from the parks you could see signs of the Travel Lodge or whatnot, and he wanted you to be able to be in the magic and not lose the magic. And that's why he started buying up all kinds of land, because he wanted enough land where he didn't have any of that to take over the view.
Yeah. Okay. I got you. Definitely.
Just want to say hi, Chase's Kingdom. He's back.
Chase, you're back. I thought he was at the beginning.
He's at the very beginning.
Yeah.
He usually says hi in the beginning.
Good to see you back.
Oh.
Okay. Granny Joe says it's better to rent a home for a week in Florida if you're going to Disney. Interesting.
Depends on what you want to do, to be honest with you. It also depends. It depends on a couple of things, to be honest with you. It depends on how many people you have. It depends on the experience you want to have. And it depends on how long you're there for. If you have a larger group of people, and say everyone's driving or something of that nature, yes, it's a lot cheaper to Airbnb or Varbo a vacation home. There's lots of them around here. I used to live in a community that had a lot of vacation rentals in the area. Community I live in now, it's against the HOA to do vacation rentals, but there's nothing against them. It's great because you can usually get a house at the pool, multiple things like that. There's a lot of places that the homes that they fully theme and stuff like that. But it also, again, it depends on the amount of people. If you're coming out here with, a family of 4, and you want that staying at a Disney World resort, although very expensive, but if you can pull it off, it brings a whole different realm to your vacation. It brings you into the magic even more, depending, and it really doesn't matter where you stay, but depending on where you stay, it could give you a different experience. Where if you have a lot of younger kids and you still want to stay on property, I would recommend saving yourself some money and going to the all-star resorts. It's pretty much their cheapest ones they have, but they have huge statues and smaller children. Just my kids still love those types of locations, so sometimes we even stay over there as just a little staycation. If you want the higher value, you stay at a premium resort like a Polynesian. You just go on the monorail loop. To be able to be on the monorail loop and see the fireworks pop off right off the beach, it's a fantastic thing. One of my personal favorites, Caribbean Beach. Great location, fantastic, large, but it puts you in a different feel and a different aspect than a normal hotel. So it all depends on what you're looking to get out of your vacation. So that's a very open-ended response that you have to really think about in order to get the most out of your vacation, to be honest with you.
Right. Chase's Kingdom says no Mickey ears.
No, I did that. I've got them here, but that's probably the one and only time I've ever worn them was for your photo, and that's probably it.
Okay. Well said. I'm glad you wore them for the photo, though. Those are cute.
Yeah, it's a unique photo. Yes. Is collecting a hobby or addiction at this point?
Well, I think throughout my life, I've always had some sort of collection, whether when I was a kid, being a baseball card fan, or a comic book kid. I've always been collecting something. And again, to me, maybe not everybody has to have this, but everyone's got, to me, I've got to have some sort of something outside of the world to focus on. I sometimes just my mind goes too much, and there's too much thinking. Not to say that I'm an overthinker. I'm a bad overthinker, but not to say I'm smarter than anybody, but my brain doesn't stop, and sometimes I need that something to calm it down and refocus it. And having a hobby like YouTube or having a collection or something to look forward to is for something coming out is a way to ease that a little bit within myself. And so I'd like to say it's an addiction to a certain point, no matter what it is. I've always been collecting in my life, but it's more of a need.
Right.
Okay. A need is actually a better way of putting it. That's the first time I've heard someone say they use it therapeutically. Like it's a way to decompress from your job or whatever, and just do something that you enjoy in your pastime. You have something, your mind's still working. I mean, you're doing a YouTube channel and all that, but you're doing something that's kind of constructive instead of just vegging out and watching something on TV or whatever. You know what I mean? It's productive at the same time. So that's a good way of finding a downtime that's therapeutic, and collecting is that for you, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I like that.
What line of Funko Pop is your favorite?
Line of Funko Pops, of course. Probably the biggest one that I did get into collecting, I don't have them all, was the Marvel Zombies. When those came out, I was a huge fan. I do have a lot of them. I think Chase has more than I do, but I was a huge fan, and I did try to collect as many of those as I could. I'm a huge Marvel fan. Again, I grew up a comic book kid. I am a Marvel person. I will take sides. I hate DC. Do not like them. As I am a Marvel fan. But yeah, I mean, probably that's probably was my favorite line, other than just Disney in general.
Right.
I got you. Okay.
How many Funkos do you have in your collection, if you know?
No, I have no idea. Again, it's small details like that I just don't pay attention to anymore. Because I mean, you got stuff that you see back here that's on the shelf. I've also got another shelf right behind me that has a bunch more pops. We've got some on a shelf downstairs that are basically a lot of the old mystery box stuff that I didn't want, that are sitting down there, and we've tried to sell them for like $1 on eBay just to get rid of them. Or I just randomly throw shit in people's boxes if I'm sending them stuff out, just to get rid of it. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What was your first Funko Chase?
Oh, Funko Chase. That's a good question. Actually, it might be the Jack Torrance. It was actually similar. It might, because I got the Jack. I pulled both of those out of mystery boxes. So it very well might have been, but I don't know for 100%.
Yeah.
That's lucky. Both out of, he wanted them, and he got them out of, by accident, out of mystery boxes, right?
Now, the Jack Torrance soda, I didn't pull from mystery box. In fact, I had somebody send me that one.
Oh, okay.
At some point, but yeah.
That's cool.
Favorite store to shop for Funkos or online shop?
I do a lot of Funko buying from Amazon. Only because, and unless it's like a Funko exclusive, I'll get from Funko themselves. But I probably say majority of my items I get from Amazon, because having Amazon Prime, problem I have with buying from Entertainment Earth, and things like that. It's the shipping costs. You're buying a $12 to $15 pop, but really it turns out to be about $20. At least if I buy it from Amazon, I don't have to pay shipping and I get it in a couple days. So I would rather buy it from them. There was a time frame when I was doing Funko videos that I was just pre-ordering a lot from Entertainment Earth and Pop in the Box before they stopped selling Funkos. But that's where I was. And then I realized quickly I would put a lot of items, because with Entertainment Earth, you didn't have to pay for the pre-order when you got them. Right. And all of a sudden the downside is, you went and paid a big bill, and all of a sudden Entertainment Earth's like, here, I'm shipping out your item, and you're like, shit. So, yeah.
Oh, we got Dead Zone in the chat.
Oh, hey Dead Zone, what's good?
That's good,
guy. Favorite Grail in your collection?
Favorite Grail.
I don't know how that went.
Actually, I would probably say, and I still keep it up in a box right up here in a corner. I don't really know if it's even a Grail. The common one is out here, but I've got the golden Mickey Funko Pop with the Cinderella's Castle, the 50th anniversary one.
Yes, I've seen that one.
Yeah, I sent one to Wayne as well. But yeah, I keep that one up here in the corner that I kind of keep put away. But that's probably one of my favorites, what I would consider a Grail type item. And, my wife does my background. She reorganizes it all the time, and she changes sometimes depending on the seasons or whatnot. And we love showing the different, like the castles. That one golden Mickey right there with the Haunted Mansion, with the Tower of Terror. It was the only one, a golden one, I let her take out. But she knows that golden one with the Cinderella's Castle, she's not allowed to take out.
She does a lovely job of putting it all together behind you. It's very well put together. It's a nice.
She likes it instead of, not to say anything against people that do, like with you guys with the wall and stuff like that. She likes to add contrast with different things that I get from the parks, like the popcorn. I actually have a fascination with popcorn buckets. I'm not gonna lie. Right behind my desk, I've got probably about 10 holiday popcorn buckets back there that we use in the holiday sets and things like that. There's a new one out that I need to get that recently came out. I've got a weird fascination with popcorn buckets, but I've got the golden Mickey up there. That's a popcorn bucket.
Is it? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look
it's supposed to look like the Mickey balloons.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's a popcorn bucket. And
what's a cool quirky thing about you? You like popcorn buckets.
I've got a weird fascination with them, yeah.
That's cool.
That's cool, yeah. What is a chase that you would like to see made?
Well, first of all, I'd like to see Funko go back to doing true chases. I really don't think they do anymore, to be honest with you, because there was a time in there, and then maybe it was only a couple of sets where, to me, it wasn't a true chase because they created a different looking box and everything. They have to go back to, first of all, doing true chases. I'd love to see them get into, and I'm going to stay within Disney because that's what I collect. I'd love to see that. I know they do some black and whites. Go back and even with the Walt Pops, I'd love to see the colors with a chase of a black and white. Go into getting into detail of some items to old school items with like Cinderella and stuff like that. Or Sleeping Beauty, even with the different, have a chase. If in the end of Sleeping Beauty, they kept changing her dress color from pink to blue to pink to blue.
Yep.
And have your common, but also have a chase of the different colors. Funko to me does not focus on details anymore, and there's a lot of details in movies that they use that they aren't taking advantage of. So I think there's small things like that fans of those would really try to go after and try to get multiples of them. But I think they need to get back to doing true chases. And to me, I know a lot of people are not going to like this, but they need to stop doing sodas. they've put too much effort into, you have a soda, you have to have a chase.
Right.
Well, and I think in the beginning that was a great idea, and it gave people the advantage of getting a chase. But with the price tag that they've now just recently increased on sodas, to me, it's just not worth it. And I know there's a lot of people out there that are diehard soda collectors. I think in 2 years you won't see any more sodas. That's just my prediction.
If they keep going up the way they are,
but there's been too much emphasis on that, and the emphasis of the chases have stopped on the Funko Pops. Right. You can't get a true chase like the Jack Torrance. That's a fantastic chase. It's got the Frozen and stuff like that. A great classic movie moment out of that show. Whereas I think when you go cheap and you're like, oh yeah, we're gonna have one flocked and one not. Well, it's the same damn pop. You just flocked one and didn't. I mean, have some creativity in that.
I think with the Sleeping Beauty, if I'm not mistaken, the original one is the pink dress.
Yeah.
And then the chase is blue. And then we also saw another one where the dress is kind of mixed of blue and pink. So I really appreciated that because I mentioned that to you.
Yeah, you did. You really enjoyed
Remember?
that. Yeah.
I said that is such a good moment for them to pick and put that as like if you like Sleeping Beauty, you would recognize, just like you said.
And it doesn't have to go extravagant, because it could even be something simple, like if you think of the movie Up and you think of the dog Doug. He was normally out there, but then at one point when he was bad, they put the cone of shame on him. Even if you had something with the cone of shame is even kind of iconic. So, even having one like that, I know that some people may seem very simplistic, but it's about the movie moments.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that. Like, I just ordered 2 Andes from Parks and Rec sodas, and the chase is just him with glasses on. But the moment that they took that from was great, because like when he puts on the glasses, he's like in serious mode. He's a detective, He
said, I'm a detective now with my glasses.
Yeah, so it makes sense. And
that's the great part about, I think, a chase is maybe not everybody understands it. But people that are fans of that are going to go, whoa, okay, I got to have that because I remember that part, and you have that connection. And I think that's what is sometimes great, that where Funko's builds on that type of world is it builds on that connections.
Right.
Absolutely. So why don't they do that all the time then? Like, I wonder why they fall short here and there. You see something, okay, it's the money or it's not laziness, I hope.
Probably a little bit of both, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. Because I'm going to say, I think sometimes like reusing molds, we've noticed that too for like with bands or whatever, characters from bands, or not characters, but people from bands are like, wait, that's the same mold they used for
it was
this
like
as that.
Machine Gun Kelly. What is his name? From Van Halen, the lead singer.
Eddie, yeah.
Yeah, and
it's pretty much the same Funko Pop, the same
Jet.
And Joan Jett.
They're
all that
3.
jump
pose, and they use the same mold for all 3 of them.
I mean, you got to capture their characteristics or their personality. You can't just. I understand that. So.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, if they're going to do that with Machine Gun Kelly, I mean, I think, again, a lot of people are back and forth with the guy, but I understand he's also changed his persona over the past years. But to me, a more iconic look for Machine Gun Kelly would have been those, an image of him standing there with that fur coat and the shirt and a no shirt on. I mean, that was more of a classic moment. And instead of, but I guess they were going off of his most recent album with the pink and all that stuff. I get it. Yeah. But, sometimes as a creator, you gotta push those limits. And, and yes, I understand the artist at some point will probably have to have a say in it, but you don't think he ain't gonna want to see that? Come on. Yeah. I guarantee you didn't give him the option.
You gotta push the limits. Okay. Moral of the story today.
Dead Zone, he says, did you get your package yet? Who are you talking to?
The Vaulted Mickey?
Vaulted Mickey, I did not. Of course, I did see it came out. I'm not worried about things selling out anymore on Funko. Funko doesn't sell out anything anymore. It's up there. I may still pick it up. I may and may not. To be honest with you, I do have a problem with the vaulted items. I think they're cool to a certain aspect with the coin, the card, the different aspects they give you for it. I just hate the display ability of the item. The tin and the vault. I just for a person that likes to display their stuff, whether it's in the box or out of the box, it just does not. Those vault cans just do not have the display ability factor.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Are you a fan of mystery boxes? Last question for Funko.
I don't hate them. I just don't do them anymore. I did them for a long time when I was doing videos and stuff like that, and so I don't hate them. I just don't do them anymore.
Right. Okay.
Gotcha.
How many times have you visited Disney?
Well, I couldn't tell you. I would say on average, we go as a family at least once a month, if not twice a month.
Whoa!
To different things. And like we went to on Mother's Day, we were actually I remember telling you because I was going to do the little promo video at Magic Kingdom. We had planned to go Magic Kingdom, and plans had just changed. We ended up going to Typhoon Lagoon instead, and we had a fantastic time as a family. But I'm out there all the time.
So what is the most must do at the Disney when you're visiting? What is must do?
That's a loaded question still. As a person that knows quite a bit about it, it really all depends on what you want to get out of your vacation. If you want to focus on rides, I'd say your biggest must do is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind. To me, it's the best ride on property. Tron is good. I wasn't blown away by it, to be honest with you. I think they missed a lot of marks on Tron, to be honest with you, and the ride's way too short. But to me, you go with the classics. You go with the Space Mountain. You go with the Big Thunder Mountain. You go with the Pirates of the Caribbean. As weird as it can be, and it's one of my favorite little shows, is the Enchanted Tiki Room. And then, but like I said, you go to every park. Whereas, you're a Star Wars fan, you got to go to Galaxy's Edge in Hollywood Studios, which also has a great ride out there, which is Tower of Terror. Of course, the rides at Star Wars, you got Smuggler's Run, you got Rise of the Resistance. Rise of the Resistance is definitely a must do. But go get your photo op with the Millennium Falcon. And of course, you got Animal Kingdom, you got Pandora, you got the floating mountains of Pandora out there. Flight of Passage is an insane 3D type of ride that I recommend everybody to do. And it really, and again, of course, you got the Kilimanjaro safaris, which you got to, if you're going to go on that, you go on that in the evening or you go on that in the morning. Those are the best two times as the animals are out moving at that point. But it really depends. It's a loaded question because it really depends on what you want to get out of your vacation.
Right.
Now, I will tell some people, if you're coming out here for a limited amount of time, and they are doing them right now, if you can get passes, I know, of course, it's Disney. It's an extra cost. It's not cost effective for a person like me that goes to Disney all the time. Because as I tell people, a local sees the Disney parks differently than everybody else. But if you want to take your chance on a place like Magic Kingdom or Hollywood Studios to get on all these rides that you want to get on, they have these after hours events. It's an extra cost, but you're in the park for 3 hours after park closes, and it's a limited number of tickets. So when you're in there in a big park like that, you're pretty much walking on to every single ride. And if you're a person that wants to come out and get a lot of rides done real quickly, I would spend the extra money to do the after hours events. I wouldn't necessarily spend you could probably save a little bit and try to do Genie Plus depending on what the cost of it is for that day. But to be honest with you, I would do the after hour events.
Okay.
And then just a follow-up question with that. Would you recommend that, because I've heard people do VIP tickets versus just regular admission? Is there much of a difference, or are you just wasting your time, really?
Unless you're a celebrity or something that doesn't mind throwing money around, I don't recommend doing VIP experience. It's a lot of money, and to a certain extent, they have to. Your person is booking the Disney Genie Plus for you, just like back in the day before they had that. They had the Fast Pass tickets. They would have to go out there and get those for you. They're pretty much just doing the hard work for you. It's not so much as an extra effort, and the extreme cost of these VIP packages are ridiculous. So I wouldn't. I think there's many other ways to get what you want it done with doing it yourself.
Regular admission. Okay, fair enough.
Chase's Kingdom says, hell, VIP all the way, baby.
Alrighty.
And I have seen the new Haunted Mansion trailer, and I am excited. I know a lot of people didn't like the original Haunted Mansion movie with Eddie Murphy. I still kind of liked it to a certain point. They got some things right. I just want to see. I'm hoping they focus more on Constance in this movie than they did, because Constance is a very big part of that ride. And I hope, and I think I've seen hints of it. I hope they put the Hatbox Ghost. The Hatbox Ghost is one of the most popular ghosts, and it's actually only in Disneyland, but they are bringing it out to Disney World soon.
Okay. Well, there you go, Chase.
All
right. Okay, so we've heard that there are a lot of creative, delicious foods to try there. What is your favorite food, and what's one you dislike as well?
Wow, man, you guys are coming up with some good questions.
Thank you.
Probably the ones I'll start with dislike. There's been some things that I've gone at, like some of the festivals, that I just did not care for that much. And it's hard to remember some of them, but sometimes it's not necessarily things that I, dislike, but it's things that I would prefer better, because a lot of these festival events at Epcot, there's so much out there. So there's a lot of things that I will not go on or not do or not try, because I would rather have something else. I would probably say they had a festival during the Festival of the Arts that they do at the beginning of the year, that they do like this weird deconstruct booth, and it's all the foods like deconstructed into pieces and stuff like that. I like to call that lazy food, because they just aren't putting it all together. But I tried it, and there was, what was it? I can't remember. It was like, I can't remember the item, but I remember eating this, and I was just like, no, I don't remember even finishing it. I didn't like it. And, no. I will actually point out one other one that I really was disappointed. There's a booth over there that is year round. They do, and especially, and this actually ring really well with you guys. Poutine.
Yes.
Poutine. I've never had original classic poutine from Canada. Now, if you're gonna there's two locations in Disney World that if you're gonna try poutine, you go to Disney Springs. There's one right out behind the Lego store. Fantastic. They have a big old thick French fries. And there is one called the Refreshment Port out at Disney at Epcot. They have the thinner fries, but the gravy is really good. But every festival they do a different style poutine, and they try to push the boundaries on these. And one year they did a gnocchi poutine. So instead of French fries, it was gnocchis.
Yeah, no.
It did not work. It did not work at all. The gnocchi was just, they tried to make it over crispy to give it that crisp like a fry.
Yeah.
And it just, nothing about it worked. And that was probably my worst thing I've eaten. They probably would have beaten it this year. If you saw my food in my most recent Flower and Garden Festival, they had a shrimp scampi poutine. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not even going to try that one. Some of my best have also come from festivals. I've had some fantastic ones. Like recently, the most one I can remember is there was two that I ate at that time was over in Mexico. They have a booth they do almost year round. And this thing was ridiculous. It was called the Taco Vampiro. Now, for me, I'm a taco fan. You could put anything in a tortilla. You could put a shoe in a tortilla, and it'd probably be good. But this thing they had grilled, they had like almost fried cheese and wrapped it around the tortilla as well. Ooh. And then they had some barbacoa beef inside. It was probably one of the best things I had until I had the next item, which was they had these like cinnamon roll puffs.
Okay.
And what I didn't realize when I first bit into it is the cream that they normally would put on a cinnamon roll was stuffed into the item, and it was
my alley.
It was ridiculously good. It was we ended up getting a couple. It was messy, but it was fantastic. But yeah, there's so many things I've eaten at Disney. I mean, you could even go back to one of my old staples, and this is a place that my wife and I have gone. And I don't tell a lot of people about it because I don't want to lose this ability of a walk-on, because a lot of restaurants you have to get reservations for at Disney. An old standby of ours is Nine Dragons in China, because they turn and burn so fast you can usually get in there pretty easily. However, I never order anything off the menu. They have an item that you can actually order, and I found this out one time because it was a special, but they always have it, and it's their General Tso's chicken. And I've had General Tso's chicken before, but the sauce they put on this one, oh my God. You could put this on a shoe and it would be good. It was ridiculously good. I never look at the menu. I always order the General Tso's chicken. It just comes with chicken and rice, and I'm in heaven.
That
sounds so good.
Yeah. Everything he's mentioned except for the gnocchi poutine.
Yeah, that didn't work.
It's not a good mix.
Anthony Blay says he's never tried it before, poutine.
Fries, gravy, and cheese curd.
Oh, that's the stuff.
So, there's something about, and there's a thing about gravy is, like I said, the one I will usually get poutine, and I'm more of an original. I like an original classic poutine. Yeah. And again, I've never had it in Canada, so I have no true comparison. But the one that's in Disney Springs to me is my favorite one, because they use the thicker steak fries, and the sauce is a little bit thicker. But there's another item that incorporates like a gravy that, man, I wish when I was in California and Vegas, I could find small mom and pop Hawaiian type places. But when I went to Hawaii many years ago, they have it's basically like a peasant dish, and you can find it at almost any ABC store out there, or many places. It's called Moco Loco, or Loco Moco.
Loco Moco.
It's basically rice, and they take 2 beef patties and put that on top of it, and then they put a fried egg on top of that, and then they put this gravy, and they drench it all over. So when you break the yolk into the gravy, and it just there's something incredible about that dish, and it's so simple. It's so good.
Sounds sloppy, but it sounds delicious at the same time.
Oh, if you ever go to Hawaii, go to any ABC store. ABC stores are on probably every other corner. There's more ABC stores than there are Starbucks. And they sell just about everything you could think of. But a lot of them will have like a dining type, quick service type item. And get the Loco Moco, or even if you go to your local place, everybody sells Loco Moco out there. It is fantastic. You won't regret it.
Okay. Thank you for the tips.
Anthony
Blaze, I think he's talking about poutine.
Yeah. You should have to use the cheese curds, not just regular cheese.
You have to go to the store and buy the cheese curds, and a good thick, not too thick, but a good thick gravy.
Yeah, and a beef gravy, no other kind of gravy. The beef gravy is the best.
Or you can try shrimp scampi to put on top of it, and no.
That can work, but
didn't try it. Didn't even try it this year. Said nope, not going there.
Okay, so carb crazy, kind of. Okay, so we're gonna go away from Disney a little bit, kind of. So we noticed the glass bottles of Coca-Cola with different colors inside the bottles, besides brown for Coca-Cola. Can you explain what we're looking at? Because we always see this. If you look behind you.
Oh, my Coke bottle. In fact, I've actually got one right here.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I've got extra ones. These are actually, this was for the 50th anniversary. And the reason there's multiple ones, in fact, I think there's some other ones behind the B up here.
Okay.
Is you can see on here, it's got the 50th anniversary logo.
Yeah.
But on top of each one, it's got a different park.
Oh.
So I've actually, and there's 5 of them. There was one for each park, and then there was one with like a, I think it's like a 50th logo on it.
Anthony believes that the KFC gravy will work.
Yeah, because this one was a little bit different. This one had, instead of where this one had the 50th logo, it had the logo with the castle.
Yeah,
and then it had the little 50th logo on the top. So
okay,
we happened to be in a park at an event, and we're able actually to collect them all. So I don't know. I'm a big Coca-Cola fan, and a huge Coca-Cola fan. I don't really drink soda all that often, to be honest with you, but something about Coke, it's got iconic imagery and stuff like that. So, having Coke and Disney, because of course you can only get Coke products in Walt Disney World. In fact, even if you go, there's a couple gas stations, some BP, no, not BPs. What are they? I can't remember the gas stations they have, but there's 3 of them on property. Those gas stations aren't allowed to sell any Pepsi products.
Oh,
wow.
So they are contracted to only sell Coke.
So that's good news for you when we go, because he's a Coke guy too.
Yeah,
a diehard Coke fan.
There you go. Okay.
All right, we're gonna jump into trivia now. D's trivia.
Disney trivia. So yeah, kind of down my alley. Okay, so let's start with the first question. What year did Disneyland open?
Disneyland, 1956.
Wrong. According to this, but he might, because he's pretty good. So I don't know. It says 1955.
No, that is incorrect. It was 1956.
You sure? 100%?
Okay, now you're making me question. Now I actually got to Google it.
Are you going to Google it? Okay. Yeah. I have this strange feeling that it's
there is a chance that I'm
I really feel
remember like I was out there for their 60th anniversary.
It just, my gut says 1955, but again.
No, actually, you might be right. Yeah, you are right. It's right. It was. I'm trying to, because I've got a jacket. I've got a sweatshirt that I've got from Disneyland when I was out there that has the opening date, and it was July 17th, 1955. So yes.
Well, that's even better. He gets double points for that because it's July what?
July 17th, 1955.
July 17th. I'm just gonna put July 17th just so I know for my own knowledge. So 1955. Right. Okay. Which dwarf out of the 2 mentioned that I'm going to tell you is not one of the 7 dwarfs? We got Jumpy or Grumpy.
Well, Jumpy is not a 7 dwarf.
Okay. Ding. Simon's not here today. I don't see him in the chat.
He's just kids.
I know, but sometimes he's,
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, okay. What is the name of Wendy's dog in Peter Pan?
That is Dinah? No. No, it's Nana.
Nana? Yes. Remember she put the dog or the kids to bed. She had that little hat on her head, and she was kind of the maid, not the maid.
Classic original cartoon. They've had some great adaptations off of course, the Peter Pan story has been done many times over. One of my favorite adaptation off of Peter Pan was the movie Hook with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman. Great adaptation. Did not care at all for this most recent one they did on Disney Plus, the Peter Pan and Wendy. Much as I love Jude Law, I think he's a fantastic actor. His portrayal of Hook was horrible.
Jude Law is Hook? That just doesn't sound.
It did not come out right.
It doesn't feel like it would be right. No offense to him. So wait, who does Hook play with the Robin Williams one? I know you said it just
Dustin
now.
Hoffman.
Right? Dustin Hoffman. Okay,
he did a great version of Hook.
Absolutely. When I look at his face as Hook and then his regular face, I can't even see it. He's just so different with the makeup on and all that other stuff.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job. Plus, of course, you got the legendary Robin Williams.
He's wonderful in most roles he plays. He's one of my favorite actors, actually. There's something you wanted me to. Okay. Okay. Oh, I didn't look up this name, but okay. Who trained Hercules to be a hero?
Oh, that was the little half goat man. What the hell was his name? That was it's been a while since I've seen that damn movie.
Yep, it stumped me too.
It was Danny DeVito played the voice of him.
Yes,
and everything. I could tell you a whole lot about him and in the movie and stuff like that, but
it's one of those old.
His name is completely just. I'm horrible with names too.
Okay. Hopefully I'm saying it right.
I'm not getting it.
All right.
Okay. Hopefully I say it right. It is a Greek name. Philoctetes.
Oh, it's Phil. Phil, as we call him. Philoctetes.
Philoctetes, yeah, something like that. Oh yeah, Chase, you got it sort of. He says starts with a P. Well, you definitely got it. Okay. Who is the bear in the Jungle Book?
Hey, Beast Poppin'.
That's Baloo.
Baloo. I love Baloo. Who does Baloo's voice? Do you know that?
The original one, I don't remember. I know that in the live action one, it was Bill Murray.
Oh, really? Okay. I like Bill Murray as an actor. That's down his alley.
If you guys haven't seen the live action of Jungle Book, I actually enjoyed it. I thought it was a good adaptation of it.
Hi there, bees.
There we go.
Thank you for joining us. Good to see you. I've just been trying to stay a little bit away from the live action because they are killing the magic. Some of the stuff I've seen, I feel like I'm not connecting like I used to with, like, I saw the Lion King one and it just, I don't know what it is.
Yeah, there was a disconnect a little bit with that one. I think the technology was great. What they did with it, but it didn't have. I'm sorry, but in a cartoon, there was much more of an emotional, heart-wrenching when Mufasa went into the thing on the cartoon than when he did on the live action. It was, there's not a person that could probably watch that scene. Sorry, the scene in the cartoon without possibly crying a little bit.
Absolutely. Or remember,
but the live action just didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Anthony Blaze says only live action I like was Aladdin, and the only one I will see.
I think
Aladdin was good. I think Will Smith did. I mean, there's not many actors that you could have put in that role because Robin Williams made that character.
Right.
So
I think
iconic. And I like the actor that played Aladdin. I like the actor that played Jasmine. I enjoyed the live adaptation of Beauty and the Beast. I think Emma Watson was fantastic.
That one was okay.
And I did like that one. Of course, the Jungle Book. I do recommend the Jungle Book. That one was good, and I did like that one. Didn't like the Lady and the Tramp. Didn't really care too much for the Lion King one. Cinderella, to be honest, I'd never seen them. I didn't see them, and I didn't even see Maleficent.
Maleficent was good.
I really enjoyed that.
That one was wonderfully put. Like seeing it from the villain, if you want to put it that way, her perspective.
It was good.
Absolutely, really Angelina Jolie played a wonderful role there. She
and I think that's what they tried to do with the Cruella version of 101 Dalmatians. I think they tried to bring the villain perspective, but I don't think it worked.
No. Okay.
Right.
So it's kind of a hit and miss, it sounds like, with these live actions that they're doing. And I understand that they're trying to bring like 3D and like more tech to it, which is cool. But you got to have a great storyline and something that captivates your emotions too. You can't just go off the cool graphics,
Yeah, and I think even the Cinderella one wasn't bad. I'm not going to put that as a hate or great, but it wasn't bad. I will be watching the Little Mermaid one because my kids are huge Little Mermaid fans, and no matter what people say about what their perspective of Halle Berry that they put in it, to me, if a person can portray the character properly,
that's all that matters.
Regardless of the color of their skin, I think that's what matters. And so far from the previews I've seen, I think she's doing a fine job. And so, I'm going to go see it regardless of what other people think. And I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What is the name of the toy store in Toy Story 2?
Was that Al's Toy Barn?
Yes.
Wow,
that was good.
Nice.
Ding. Okay. Which poisonous fruit did Snow White eat?
What was the apple?
Yes. Yeah. Ding. What kind of apple was it?
Oh, they never specified the kind.
There's Simon.
It's a red delicious. Oh,
hey,
there he
Simon.
Is. Hi, Simon.
Dang.
He's like, I'm here. I'm doing my job. I don't want to get fired from the Funko Friends podcast.
Correct, Granny Joe Red.
Granny Joe, yeah, it was not a Granny Smith. It was I'm assuming a red delicious or something. It was a red one. I believe it was a red apple.
So I see Matt Hatter has a question of what rides or locations you should see. Depends on what park you're going to. If you're going into Disney, I mean, you got the 4 parks to choose from. Really, it depends on what park you're deciding to go to. If you tell me which one you're going to, maybe I can give you a couple ideas and even some things to try that most people don't know.
Right.
And if you go, please take pictures. Please.
All right.
Okay. Which Full House actor voices Aladdin?
Voices Aladdin?
Yeah.
An animated version.
I'm assuming that, yeah.
I believe that was Dave Coulier, if I'm not, but I could be wrong on that one.
No, not Dave.
Voiced Aladdin. Actually, I'm not 100% sure on that one. I don't think it was what the hell is John Stamos?
No, I could.
There's only 3 main actors on that for male, which is John Stamos, Dave Coulier, and Bob Saget, and I know neither one of them did it.
Yeah. Okay. Maybe they're using the character, which Full House character voices Aladdin. So maybe his name in the Full House show. Do you know the 3 guys' names?
The 3 dads is like I said, is the actors are Dave Coulier, Bob Saget.
What was their names in the show, though? Maybe that's what it's saying here, too. Because I don't know.
Uncle Jesse.
Yeah.
Danny. And what the hell was Dave Coulier's name in there? Jesse, Danny, and I can't remember his name. The comedian.
I have no idea because I don't watch Full House. I don't remember anything from it. Scott Weinger.
No idea.
Weinger.
Let me see. Scott Winder?
Yeah, Weinger. I'm assuming that's how you say it. Winger?
Scott Winder. Oh, he was a kid in that one. He was the older daughter's boyfriend at one point. Yeah, I wouldn't remember that.
Okay, so he's the voice of Aladdin. I have to go look that up and see who that person's face is, because I don't know who Scott. I remember a couple of the dads, like what he was just saying, but I don't remember.
Yeah, he was the oldest daughter's boyfriend at one point. He wasn't in that, and I don't even think he did. He did maybe 2 seasons or something like that.
So his big role, I guess, was Aladdin. Then it wasn't Full House. Clearly.
Probably.
Oh, very cool.
It's not like he was a leading person in Full House.
Oh, Anthony has it. He says boyfriend, can't remember his name. DJ's boyfriend, can't remember the name.
Yeah.
There you go, Anthony. I didn't notice you were saying that.
Yeah.
Good job. Ding for Anthony. And for us, I guess. Okay. What is the name of Andy's neighbor, the evil kid, in Toy Story?
Oh, that's right. It's funny as I was just comparing somebody to him the other day. Sid Phillips, yes. Ding. Half a ding. Yeah. Half a ding, yes. What are the names of Cinderella's stepsisters? I always had a problem with this. I was asking. Anastasia.
Yeah.
And
the other one always throws me a bit.
the other one always throws me off.
because I've never heard of it until this movie.
I think it starts with a P.
No.
They're similar to it when you say it. They're similar.
Somewhat, but it starts with a D. I'll give you that.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can remember Anastasia. That was an easy one, but I think the Anastasia was a redhead. Thank you,
Randy Joe.
Go ahead.
Anastasia was the redhead, you're right, and the brunette was Drusilla.
Yep. And Madame Tremaine was their mother.
Adam Tremaine?
Madame Tremaine.
Tremaine, okay. Yeah. Yes, ding, ding, ding. Okay, what is the name of Ariel and Prince Eric's daughter from The Little Mermaid 2, I guess it is, right?
How that was one of those weird straight-to-video spin-offs or something that I probably have never seen.
Yeah, it's like
my kids have probably seen some of those off of Disney Plus, but I was going to say in the original Little Mermaid, they didn't have a kid, so...
No, they didn't. It was like Little Mermaid 2 or something.
Yeah,
like that.
I'm probably better with the theater-type ones, but those, a lot of times those ones, like the Stitch ones as well, they have those back in the day. It would be considered direct to video type of movie.
Okay.
But yeah, I wouldn't know that one.
Not at all.
No.
Okay. Princess Melody.
Makes sense actually.
Granny Joe, let's go back to Jumpy. It is not a dwarf level question. Well, yeah, your kids would probably know that, though.
My kids would probably watch. I'm sure it's on Disney Plus. I'm sure they've watched those ones.
Absolutely. Okay, which Disney princess sings "Once Upon a Dream"?
Once Upon a Dream? That is Cinderella.
No. I know you. I walked with you once upon.
Oh, that's Sleeping Beauty. No.
There you go. Sorry, guys. Sorry.
I was thinking of a different one. I was thinking of
I thought Cinderella too at first when she gets up and she's getting ready in the morning.
Yeah, that's the scene I was thinking of.
Right? Me too. It caught me too.
That's the exact scene that was in my head.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Because there is that word dream in that song too.
Yeah.
If You Wish Upon a Dream is the actual name of the song. But okay. And again, sorry for my singing, guys. Okay, how many fingers does Mickey Mouse have on each hand?
4.
4. Beautiful. Ding, ding, ding.
All the characters only have 4. In fact, you can get, and I had them at one point. I think they got real dirty when they getting rid of, but you could buy like the oversized Mickey hands.
Yeah.
Which had 4, and we would take them out. Because one of my favorite places, to be honest with you, to go, and we might have gone there today, but then I remember I had the show, but we like to drive out to Cocoa Beach where Port Canaveral is. And we love to go watch the cruise ships go out. They go out about 4:30, and we used to take the hands. And we use the hands to wave to the people on the ships.
Oh, that's cool.
We had a Mickey hand, and we had a Stitch hand.
Mickey hand and the Stitch hand. Oh, that would be funny to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Genie was stuck in the lamp for how many years before Aladdin found him?
Oh, good Lord. 10,000 years?
Yeah, he goes, 10,000 years will give you such a crick in the neck. Yes, I remember that. That was good. Okay. What color dress does Cinderella wear to the ball?
It's a blue dress.
Yes, very good. Ding, ding. Who is Mufasa's trusted advisor in The Lion King?
That is Zazu.
Yes, Zazu. What type of creature is a sidekick Mushu in Mulan?
There's a little dragon.
Yes.
Voiced by Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy, very good. Extra point for that. Who serves as Pinocchio's conscience?
It's Jiminy Cricket. Oh, man, that's a classic right there.
Absolutely.
Let your conscience be your guide.
Oh, yes. Okay. Who is Goofy's son in the movie, the Goofy movie?
Oh man, that's Max. That's one of my favorite '90s cartoon movies of all time.
Max.
And of course, I've got one of my last ones that I bought. In fact, he's not worth much, but guess what? I still put him in a damn hard stack. It was my power line.
Oh,
I can't wait! Oh my god, I really want the Powerline. For some reason, that reminds me of Michael Jackson. Were they going for that, or
I don't know. That one I'm not sure, but Powerline and the dance moves. There's a guy on TikTok that will actually put on the actual Powerline outfit and does the actual dance.
Oh, really?
And stuff like that. It's pretty funny.
Such a good song too. I love that song. I love listening to it just as is, not just in the movie. Okay, what is the name of the 8-legged octopus antagonist in The Little Mermaid?
Cruella. Or Ursula, sorry.
Okay, yeah. Cruella.
Hey, Killa.
She is quite cruel, but yeah, it's Ursula. Very good. Ding, ding, ding. You did wonderfully.
Yeah.
Well, there's a funny thing with Ursula, too, because the rides are very similar between Disneyland, which is actually, they have the Little Mermaid ride in California Adventure out there, and they have the same ride out here in Disneyland in Magic Kingdom. Although I think ours out here is, when you go into it, the facade is of the Little Mermaid Castle, and you kind of go into it, where it's the one in Disneyland is kind of just like a big building. It's not all creative. Ride's exactly the same between the two. And there was a thing, I think a couple years ago, where people had video of Ursula's head that fell off.
My God.
A lot of people asked me if it happened out here, and no, I found out it actually happened in Disneyland, not at Disney World.
Oh,
that must have been disturbing for some.
Yeah, her head popped off and was just dangling. It was dangling. The mouth was still moving.
She's the bad guy. It's karma, guys. Just tell your kids that. Can you imagine your kids are walking by?
So we finished trivia. You did amazing. We're gonna jump into rando questions.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So these are fun. You don't have to think that much. Just say what you
might.
I try not to think as much as I can.
Yeah, don't overthink it. All right. Which actor played Batman the best and why?
Oh God, you had to bring a damn Batman question in. I hate Batman. If I was gonna go to it, it'd be I've said it 1,000 times. It was Michael Keaton was the best Batman, because to me, if you're gonna become a Batman, you have to play both characters. You have two characters to play. You have Batman to play, and you have Bruce Wayne you have to play, and you have to nail both. I think Michael Keaton pulled it off well. Christian Bale pulled it off very well.
Yeah, he worked out hard for that role.
Affleck did a decent job on it, but everyone else was not very good. In fact, there's, of course, everyone will. Well, okay, everyone already knows, but the latest one of Sparkle Nipples is was his little emo version of Bruce Wayne was absolutely ferocious and was really bad. He just sounded like a whiny little teenager that didn't get his way. But Robert Pattinson, I don't care for him. I never cared for him as an actor. I think he's a horrible actor to begin with. And I think he needs to stick to chick flicks, if anything, and go down that route. But I would say Michael Keaton, absolutely the best Batman ever. I think Michael Keaton's just a fantastic actor all the way around. He can pull off just about any role you give him.
Right. That question was donated by Chase's Kingdom. So.
I figured Chase has some sort of added to that.
And Down Under collector.
Hey, Down Under, good to see you. Hope you're having a good day, Down Under.
Or good night.
Good night,
or
I should say. Or maybe good morning.
I believe. Yeah, Wayne and I did a long time ago, but when my studio was still in the corner of the house on the other side. Yeah. We had some Australians ask us to do a show with them one time, and it was weird because we had to do it like early in the morning. It was like really early in the morning is when we had to get on and do the show, and it was late at night for them. So yeah, that was definitely weird.
Yeah,
we had the same thing. We had Taco Pops on and his crew, and it was really.
Was it early?
They sacrificed.
They did. It was 10 in the morning. It
was really early for them, and it was really late for us. So.
Oh, okay.
It worked out really nice.
It was really cool though.
Yeah.
It was a good podcast.
Yeah.
Jesus Kingdom Affleck. 100%.
He's sorry about Ben Affleck being the better Batman. I'll argue that 1,000 ways.
Okay.
Next question.
Which actor played the Joker, best, and why?
Ooh, that one's, and there's been a lot of adaptations. My top 3, and you're gonna be surprised with the third one because it's not technically an acting, but it is at the same time. But I would probably say Jack Nicholson, fantastic adaptation of the Joker. Kind of had that, again, Jack Nicholson, he's a legend. So would be number 1. Of course, Heath Ledger. I mean, that psychotic type version of the Joker was fantastic. And I would say my third would be the hell is his name? For some reason he just dropped out. But
Phoenix.
guy who played Luke Skywalker. Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill actually voices the Joker in the animated series, and he's fantastic adaptation of it.
Okay, no, I wasn't surprised by that. That's a good 3 to pick from.
Yep.
So what is the Joker's real name? Does anybody know that, or is it just the Joker? Because I never realized that he might have a name. After all these years, I just saw that now.
I'm not remembering, like I said, but again, I grew up a DC. I grew up a Marvel fan, so I didn't really read a lot of the Batman comic books by any means. So I wouldn't be the one to tell you on that one.
Okay,
Chase might be.
If you guys know in the chat what the Joker's name was before he became the Joker, I'm just curious. Was it like Bob or something? Okay. Yes. Okay, out of all the people who played the Joker and Batman, who do you think would be a cool mix to work together if they're dead or alive? Would you pick one from one movie and another guy from another?
Put them together.
To be Batman?
No, just if you took
if you take one Joker that you can pick and pick a Batman that you can pick and do a movie with those two, which ones that played?
Would you put Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger together?
No.
Not Jack Nicholson. Sorry.
No, I think they were good in their realms that they did. To be honest with you, I honestly wouldn't change anything with that, because if you're talking Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger, I mean, those were 2 different adaptations of the movie, and Heath Ledger had that more psychopath type version, which fit perfect with the Christian Bale version of Batman.
Okay.
They matched on the same level, whereas the Michael Keaton, completely matched with the Jack Nicholson. And I wouldn't change any of that at all. Maybe never, as much as I love him as an actor, maybe never let the Suicide Squad Joker ever come about. Please just let's forget that ever happened.
I like the Suicide Squad.
I don't mind it. I think that was a horrible. Like you said, I like the hell's his name? I can't remember. I like him as an actor. He's a fantastic musician with 30 Seconds to Mars.
God.
I can't remember his name right now.
I know who you mean. The guy that had his own little cult or something on an island somewhere.
That I don't know, but yeah, to me, he's just he's actually doing the new Tron movie, Tron 3, and my wife, I guarantee my wife would know, because I've been following his career for a long time. In fact, he was
Jared Leto.
One of the first ones I do remember being in. It was great, and I don't know if a lot of people remember. It's probably one of my favorite cult type movies. Is Fight Club, and he was one. He got his face completely bashed in almost from that movie. But yeah, I'm a huge Jared Leto fan. I do like him. I think he's a fantastic actor. I've been waiting for a new 30 Seconds to Mars to come out. I'm a fan. I know not everybody is, but I am.
That's okay. Yeah, for sure. Chases, are you saying Jack Napper is the name? Is that the Joker's real name? I'm just curious. Is that who we're talking about here?
Maybe.
Because it sounds
that might sound about right.
Right? Yeah, it sounds like it.
It may have said it in that. I didn't really see it because I just didn't. It didn't interest me at all. It was that Joker movie that they did, and to me, it just didn't seem interesting. So I never watched it. But I was thinking maybe something like that. They might have said something like that in there.
Pretty boy.
Okay, that is one of the names they have said he is. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Down Under. Okay, which Disney princess would you want to be and why? If you got to be a Disney princess.
That's an odd question.
That's why they're called rando.
Wow, I'm probably something I've never actually thought about, but I guess you got to go with the original, the Snow White.
Nice, Snow White.
Snow White, beautiful. And so why? Why? Just because? You have 7 men to take care of, little dwarf.
Good point. Well, they're half men, so it's actually like 3.5. But I don't know. It's something. I mean, I'm probably just listing this off of Disney lore as being his first one he ever did, and did the adaptation of, and there's something classic and simplistic about Snow White.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I'm just gonna say, okay. Down Under says in the comics, Jack Nipper, and then 2 other names they have given him. One was mentioned when they did the Rebirth comic series.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank you very much for just clearing that up.
Chase, favorite toilet paper?
Favorite toilet paper? I know yours 2-ply. Charmin?
Charmin 2-ply.
Okay.
That's a random question.
You actually don't care as long as it's 2-ply, right?
Yeah, it has to be really
good, comfy for your butt, right?
Yeah.
Okay. At Disneyland, what would be a cool job to do, in your opinion?
Play Jack Sparrow.
Nice.
Play Jack Sparrow. Oh, you would love something like that.
Yeah, because I think over there, although I think the location where Disneyland out here now, in fact, I'll give you a little bit of useless Disney knowledge. Disneyland has the ride over there is actually longer, and the opening where the queue line and everything, it's a lot better, and the setup because it kind of goes into New Orleans Square. In fact, right above the Pirates is actually where Walt's Club 33, the original Club 33, was actually based.
Really?
Now, when they did the Disney World version, Disney Magic Kingdom did not originally open up with Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean began building 3 years after opening because of the large amount of people that wanted pirates. So they honestly just really threw it together and didn't have as much of the pizzazz that the one in Disneyland had. It was slower because it actually has 1 drop, whereas the one in Disneyland has 2 different drops in that one as well. So small little bit of tidbit knowledge, but yeah, there's scenes in Disneyland that's not in Disney World.
That's interesting. Hey PJ.
PJ, you joined us.
In fact, it's because I got my Pirates hat on, but I've also got. There used to be a mural in the one at Disney World where you walked in. They had this mural of, the skull and a banner underneath that said "Yo ho, yo ho." I've actually got it tattooed on my leg.
Oh wow, cool.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, last TV show you binge watched.
Great question.
Last TV show, Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Wasn't that something we saw on?
Well, actually, I think I'm still trying to watch it because I try to let it go so I could binge watch it, and then I realized there's still some episodes, so now I'm still catching up. But I'm a huge Ted Lasso fan. I'm not a soccer, which is funny because I'm not a soccer fan by any means, but I'm a huge Jason Sudeikis fan, and that show just caught my attention. I've watched all 3 seasons. Every year that they've come out, and I really enjoyed it. Another one that probably, I don't think it's recent, but I did binge watch that was absolutely fantastic. It was on Apple TV as well, was the hell was the name of that? It was Severance. Really mind screwing. It was called Severance. It was about a guy
Severance.
Severance. Someone not. It was basically he would go to work. When he went to work, he forgot. It was a mind thing they did where he didn't know what his life outside of work was, and when he went out of work, he didn't know what his work life was. There's like two different people.
Wow. Okay, that's kind of neat. I would actually love some sort of thriller like that.
Yeah, it was an incredible one, and they set it up perfect for a season 2. In fact, it actually pissed me off because I'm like, really, you're gonna end on that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you, PJ, for the dono hype.
PJ, thank you so much. We appreciate your donation.
Yes.
I think we made $15 for baby today.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for all your support, honestly.
New pair of socks for the baby.
we got these cute little socks from my sister already. They're like this big.
Well, don't forget YouTube's got to take their cut first.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm aware of that now. They do.
I remember the first time I started getting super chats, and it was like that, and all of a sudden I went into the revenue thing. I'm like, wait, I'm like, God damn it, YouTube even takes that.
Yep.
Damn Google.
Yep, for sure. You got to pay for their service,
Yep.
But it's a very much appreciated, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so are you an early bird or night owl?
Probably more of an early bird.
Yeah, you mentioned.
Like I said, it depends. I'm a complicated person. I get up early for work because of my work. The team that I usually that does a lot of the work that I plan and stuff like that works third shift. So I like to get out there early and get with them and help them out if I need to and stuff like that. So it makes it easier. But during the weekend, I like my sleep. Because I've gone through years where I wasn't sleeping right. I did third shift for a long time. So yes, I do sleep with a CPAP. I do sleep with a mask, and it is a world of difference if I have a night where I don't use it. And
a mask?
If I do,
Oh wow.
I thought about doing that. Does it actually help the little baggies under the eyes?
I don't know, but it helps me. I can actually use that, and even if I have a 5 or 6 hour sleep, I feel refreshed.
Okay.
When I went to a sleep study, that's a weirdest experience and to ever do. I will tell you that.
Right.
But you get there and you're spending probably an hour just getting, friggin' these little. You get put the thing over your chest. They put these things on your legs. They have this goop. They pull your hair around and put all these little diodes all over you. So you're wired up. But at that point, I was so tired. I could sleep anywhere, anything. I'm the type of person where it could be a rock and I could fall asleep on it. It was even more then because I just wasn't getting enough sleep. And so I asked the guy in the morning when he woke me up. I was like, "So how'd it go?" And he's like, "Oh, I had to come in one time because I guess I knocked off my finger thing, and they put this nose thing on you that puts air into your nose." No, actually, it's not like a nose. It doesn't put air, but it senses the air coming out of your nose. And he's like, "Yeah, you had moments where you like stopped. It was like 10 to 15 times you would just stop breathing for like 60 seconds or something like that." And so they diagnosed me with severe sleep apnea.
Okay.
And so it's a world. So if you think about a 6 hour sleep, if I don't have my CPAP on, I really only sleep about 2 to 3 hours on a 6 hour.
Yikes. Okay.
So I went for one of those studies and they said I had it, and then I lost a lot of weight and it went away for some reason. Sleep apnea is a direct connection with overweight, and I am overweight. I've been working on that with my doctors and stuff like that, and not to get too personal, but there's things going on through this next year that may change that quite a bit as I'm working with my doctors and stuff like that. But
it
hopefully things like that will change soon.
Yeah, just so you can sleep better if it helps, right?
Because it terrified my wife when I used to have it, because I used to sound like I was choking. She was like, "Are you
and
dying?"
then nothing.
Yeah.
Like I would wake up.
I used to fall asleep all the time, never be a problem. And my wife said, because it really, my bad part was third shift. When I worked third shift for 5.5 years, one, it's a different world, and we are not meant to be up all night like that. No. And it really screws with your body and your mind and stuff like that. And I probably gained the most weight I ever did working third shift, because you can never truly get into a set routine with your eating and your sleeping and stuff like that. And when I started getting a little heavier, she started noticing I would just snore so much louder than I ever did. Mm-hmm. And that's when she realized there was a problem. So
okay, fair enough. Okay, so last question for me. If you were an animal, which animal would best represent you?
Yeah, that one's a good one. I don't know. Maybe a dog. I would probably say, because dogs always are very, no matter whether you're having a hard day or not, they never really, I guess I have a hard day, but I always try to stay as positive as I can, and try to live that, try to be a positive, and it's not that easy to do sometimes, but let's go with that. I'm not 100% sure.
Biggest fear.
Biggest fear is not being too, with my weight and not being around long enough for my kids.
Yeah, we've heard that one before sometimes, right?
Our second last question is, do you have anything that you want to promote? Sorry, any questions for us?
Sure, I've got my paper right here. In fact, I mixed some Disney and some Funko stuff up here for you. First of all, and I know that my buddy, my partner in crime has already asked this one, but I'm going to do it anyways. Are you the real disc tracker?
I knew this was coming.
I can't say anything.
Should we call your lawyer?
Yeah,
that's right.
I think we've asked you that multiple times. So since you asked me when Disneyland originally opened, when did Magic Kingdom first open? Just a year. I'll just take a year.
1962.
No, 1971.
Oh, I was kind of close a little bit. A couple years off.
Because you always got to remember, because Walt died in 1969, so he died 2 years before it opened.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's right. And you did tell me that today, so should have been listening a little closer. You gave me so much, but he gave us a lot of information about Disney.
I've got a lot of useless Disney knowledge that I could probably go on and on about.
That. Huh? I'm happy about that. I'm a Disney collector fan, but I can't say I'm a fan after today with all the. You are a true. The whole backstory. About his brother being like a silent partner, kind of, but without him, it wouldn't have been the same. And being open in 1955. And
well, did you know that? Of course, one of the biggest things that most people always tell you, the greatest thing to do in life is to fail. And that Walt Disney had started an animation studio well before he started the Walt Disney Brothers Company with his brother, right? And of course, that one he did not do with his brother, and it failed. It failed miserably. And
really?
His brother was actually in the war at the time, and that's why they weren't doing it together. So that's why. And then afterwards, they ended up getting together, and they started the Walt Disney Company. And their right-hand man, which I'm not going to ask you this because most people do not know this, it actually worked for Disney when he started his first company, was a drawer and by the name of Herb Iwix. And he was fantastic. He was one of the best drawers around that and stuff like that. So he actually did a lot of the drawing for Sleeping Beauty and stuff like that back in the day.
Wow.
Hey, Marvel Cuphead.
Hey, Marfa, we're just
wrapping
up, but it's still lovely to see you.
So we also got what's the last Funko Pop you bought?
Oh,
my last Funko Pop was Cody Rhodes from wrestling.
It's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you remember the last one that we got for me?
Oh, I do.
What is it?
Yeah, Nerds.
Oh, Nerds was the last one?
Yeah, that was a cool one.
Wasn't that gifted?
Yeah. No, that one, I bought that one.
From who, though?
From a friend.
Oh, from like a WhatsApp?
No, from a friend.
Okay.
I bought it.
Sometimes he gets me these ones and surprises me, so I always have to ask where's
those things need to be scratch and sniff. I'm sorry, but they do.
They are scratch and sniff.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's a pink nerd one. So buying nerds too.
Yeah, I know.
After that, that's funny.
Will you continue to buy Funko sodas after the price point has gone to $17.99?
It has to be a good one.
Our sodas are $25 in Canada.
I know, but
well, that's Canadian dollars, isn't it? Higher than US or
it's lower.
But we're used to that. Like if we're talking about the price point of what they're used to and what we're used to.
Yeah, but I found certain websites that you can get them for cheaper. Like I just bought 2 of my Andy sodas for $13 each.
Yeah, he knows all the ins and outs.
I know,
so,
yeah.
I mean, I can just rely on you to help me if I really want a soda. But if they keep continuing to go up and up and up,
I don't think we're gonna.
I think it'll just be too expensive.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's just not worth it. So
I stopped doing sodas a while ago. I just won't do them anymore. Mm-hmm. Last question, Disney question. What was Walt Disney's first character?
I know it wasn't Mickey.
Wasn't
Goofy?
No.
Was it? Wait, what?
Oswald?
Yeah. Oswald?
No, what's his name?
Oswald the Lucky Rabbit.
Good job, babe.
In fact, they did not get the rights back to Oswald until about, I think, 10 or 15 years ago.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, the reason that was actually one of Walt's greatest disappointments is he created Oswald the Rabbit for a group, I believe. I can't remember the company's name, but he made it for them, and they were, because back then they did all little cartoon shorts before movies, and he had done the Oswald, and they had basically taken the rights to Oswald and told him they were going to go ahead and have other people work on Oswald comics, and it was one of Walt's greatest disappointments. And he was actually because he put his work into that character, and so he was very disappointed by it. And then his, of course, next greatest achievement was Mickey Mouse.
Right.
Oh, gosh. Do you know why he came up with Mickey Mouse? Did he just see a mouse in his house one day and he's like,
there's multiple questions and multiple reasons, and there is some audio file from him saying that, what it is, but there's also people that they've interviewed, Herb, and he said different stories. So there's multiple stories out there as to why he created Mickey Mouse, about, being a mouse in the area or something like that, and he got the idea. But nobody knows which one's true, the true answer, to be honest. And yeah.
That would have been cool.
All right. Our final question is, do you have any up and coming projects or anything that you want to promote right now? This is time to promote yourself.
No, I mean, like I said, I try to wing it for the most part. I'm still trying to rework my whole scheduling to be able to fit a lot of things in, because we've had a lot of stuff here at the house that schedule and times have changed and things like that. So I'm trying to work stuff in. In fact, if some people notice my 5 minutes, it is the first time I've actually done it in a couple of weeks, because there's been so many politics going on with Disney and the state right now that as frustrated as I get, as I'm a big Disney fan, I don't like getting into the politics. I'm a person that I believe that every person has their own right to believe what they want, whether it be politics or whatnot. That's the freedom we have as humans. And just because you believe something differently than me doesn't make you a bad person. And I respect you just as much as you to respect me for having a different opinion. And I think having difference of opinions it makes this world great. I just choose. I have a hard time sometimes with some of this going on that I just choose not to report on it. I'm not a journalist by any means, and I don't try to be. So I have a hard time separating my feelings about what is going on from that. And honestly, in the world we live in right now, especially here in America, being able to show your side of something is not always the best thing to do. So I've chosen a lot of it to kind of stay away from it and wait for news to come around that that doesn't really like I probably pegged on it a little bit, but I try to keep it. I try to keep my news to the facts and try to keep my opinion as much out of it because I think the world has a hard enough time figuring out the difference between facts and opinions.
Right.
And so I just try to keep it as much to facts as I can with adding a little bit of myself into it. So I haven't done it for a little while, but I was originally putting a post out on Sunday or Monday, and I started realizing that a bunch of the big news shows actually put some of their news shows out on Saturday. So I now have an opportunity where I can come home after work on Fridays, write my script for my show, get my information, and film. And pretty much I was up a little later on Friday night, finishing the editing and uploading it. So that way it was ready for the morning. And actually, I think I've gotten some decent views on it. Again, I don't overly focus on my views and stuff like that, to be honest with you. But, I think it's pretty good. I put out what I can. I would need to get more into vlogging. I stopped doing it for a while because there's a little bit of anxiety that I do get that is hard to overcome at times. But it's for me, once I get started doing it, I don't have a problem with it, except for when there's large crowds around. Because it is, I always think in my mind, what others see. And I really shouldn't care. And to be honest with you, I also don't care. But it is weird walking around a place talking to a camera.
It is. I see what you're saying.
There is a weird aspect to it, and that's why there's small things like I pick up on different stuff where you have guys like a Tim Tracker who he'll walk through the park without a problem with ease because he's been doing it for years. Whereas you got another guy like Paging Mr. Morrow. Nate, from what I heard, is a great guy, but if you watch a lot of his videos, he pulls off to the side and he'll find a quieter spot or not around people. He doesn't do a lot of his filming walking around. He'll do his on-person perspective, against a corner or something of that nature. So it's about learning different stuff. But I think since I started getting back into it when I did the Trails End review, stuff like that, I kind of missed it. So it's that thing of sometimes I've gone to do some resort tours and I'll sit in my car for like 15 minutes to like try to get myself going with it. But once I do, it's not usually too much of a problem. I will have some people that ask me, and of course it doesn't make it into the film, if I'm doing YouTube, and I usually tell them yes and stuff like that. But yeah, there is it does take some getting used to. I mean, sitting here in the studio, I mean, you guys know, probably doing videos in the beginning, sitting there in a studio talking to a camera, it's very awkward.
Yeah.
The more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. And in the studio, of course, it's even more now because I have a teleprompter that I actually read off of when I do my news series. So I actually write my script out and all my stuff. And that is a whole different aspect in itself to get used to, because I write it. So of course I write it and then I read through it a couple times to make sure it makes sense. But even when you're doing it, you have to read the information, but portray it like you're doing it naturally.
Yeah, of course.
I've had some that are very choppy, but the more I do it, the better I get. And so being here in the studio is a lot easier for me because I can just shut the door and we're good. But going out in the field and stuff like that, it's a little bit more challenging at times. But like I said, I still enjoy it. I did realize that since I stopped doing vlogging for a while, when I started getting back into it, I was like, man, I kind of missed this. So you probably start seeing a little bit more. But I gotta get into times when you see some of these vloggers. Some of these vloggers they don't go to the parks when it's packed. They'll go, if you ever watch some of these travel vloggers like a Tim Tracker, a Kyle Paleo, stuff like that, they go and do a lot of this stuff early mornings. They'll go to Disney Springs, right when it opens at 10 o'clock, because it's quieter and it's easier to walk around without. And it's not so much that they're afraid of anxiety; it's background noise. I didn't realize till I started doing it how much background noise there is out there, and it's hard to flesh that out sometimes. So. It's a matter of trying to work around that. So, but then also having a family, I try to even out having some family time and everything of that at the same time. So there'll be vlogging coming up. I'll be getting back into my news shows. I am planning on in July. The end of July is the Tampa Comic-Con. I will be going down to that. There's future things that Wayne and I constantly talk about and plan on doing. And there is some stuff with some Comic-Cons next year that we are talking about and planning and doing, where we're going to try to maybe start going and doing live events at these, whether we do it ourselves on our own table or we try to get press passes for these things. I don't know. But we're just try to come up with ideas all the time and just kind of have fun with it, because that's the best. And the funny thing is, Wayne and I have never met face to face, but I would probably say he's probably one of my best friends, if not my best friend at the moment. Of course, then Chase and I we talk all the time off air and stuff like that. Him and I have good conversations. The two of them are probably the closest I have. And because when I am a person of liking to talk to people and stuff like that, and I have, of course, my good friends back in California that I went to high school with. But one thing, my wife was happy when I started doing this vlogging and learning communities. I was able to adapt new friends without going in there, and these are good people. And definitely, hit them up as much as you guys. I've been able to meet you guys, the Canadian crew up there with you guys and Simon and stuff like that. So, in fact, we do have Simon. I'll give him a little plug. I think we have Simon coming on Wayne Tech on the 30th of this month. So,
oh wow, nice.
Simon didn't say anything.
No,
they must have just recently.
I just told Wayne about it the other day. So a lot of times I do majority of the booking of stuff. And he lays out more of the shows. If you ever watched, he's the one that kind of keeps the show flowing a little bit more. And I think that's what we realized is over time, we really we mesh well together. It's like, it just works for the both of us. And, I've loved working with Wayne. He's fantastic. Guy's smart as hell, especially when it comes to how if I ever need an idea for something, I hit Wayne up. In fact, I did it when I did my Trails End video. I could not think about how to do the thumbnail for it. I was not liking it. So I hit Wayne. I was like, Wayne, what do I do? And he's like, oh, you got an idea that you need to do this? I'm like, oh yeah, I can do that. So that entire thumbnail was thought up by him. I just kind of put it together. And we always bouncing things off. So he's a fantastic go-to. His videography, I tell him all the time, he is bar none. His video work is fantastic.
Yeah,
I've noticed
we've talked about that when he was on our podcast.
Yeah, he does great. His on camera personality, it comes out very well. But he's just, like I said, we talk offline all the time. What you see on his videos is him.
Yeah,
it's not a gimmick. It's not an act. It's him. And that's what I appreciate with him and Chase is, and I don't try to fake it either. We tell people on Wayne Tech that, this is who we are. This is who we are. From when the camera's on to the camera's off, this is who we are. We don't try to fake it. And, I don't appreciate some people that I have talked to within the Funko community that, are complete, they want to act like they're, the nice people that, on camera and stuff like that. And they want to help people. But when you try to talk to them, they're complete jerks. And, it turns out to be two different things. And, there's some people I've called out. I don't always call people out by name, but of course, when I go on my rants, a lot of people know who I'm talking about. There's one person in particular that I like to, because I don't agree with what he does, and so I like to rant about him a lot. But that's just me. But we don't fake it. We don't care. We don't care what people think in the community. We don't. You're either going to like us or you're going to hate us. That's one thing. Yeah. One thing, and we're not going to sit here and lie and say that we're one thing and we're trying to, because there was a point there, and that's what we try to emphasize when we do the egg. The egg thing is this. It's crowdfunding. We're not lying to you. It's going towards supporting the channel, and that's all. So we're open. People can ask us anything, and that's just like I told you guys. I'm sure you guys usually send questions out to have them approved. I don't care. I'm an open book. You can ask me just about anything except for politics or religion, and I'm all right.
We actually never send out our questions. We like the general reaction.
The genuine reactions we get from people. If they're too prepared, then they have time to rehearse what they're gonna say. And we got rando questions as one of the segments, right? Can't be rando if you already know what's coming.
I only know. I don't do a lot of outside of Wayne Tech stuff, and I had one show one time, and they asked me to be on. I said, "Yeah, no problem. I'm available." And all of a sudden I get an email, and I think on Instagram or something, they had a whole bunch of the questions answered, and are these okay with you? And I'm like, dude, I didn't even read them. Go ahead and do it. I don't care. I'm like I said, if I truly have a problem with it, I'll tell you live on air. I won't talk about that. But they're, like I said, unless it's politics or religion, those are pretty much, to me, have been they're the universal topics that you keep to yourself.
Yeah.
I have 2 shows that are coming up in June. 2 people asked me to be on the show, and they already sent me the questions. I haven't looked at them at all. I like to be
easy flow conversation sort of deal. It's just nicer to have a genuine conversation. Like when I asked you a few of the questions today, you had a genuine response. You're like, wow, that's a good question. I didn't let me think about that.
Yeah.
That's what we want. We want to have you, have a moment to really think about it, not already have it planned out, because we're not testing you. It's not like you have to study for a test. It's not that.
and I think that gives, like you said, gives the best genuine response, and that's why it's good. And I will still. I'm not a person that I always comment all the time. I may go on and chase a show like this morning, harass them a little bit with some off the wall comments, but I watch a lot of people's shows, and I've watched your shows plenty of times. I just don't always comment. Like I said, I do like you guys are authentic, and you can tell you're authentic, and I'm sure I can probably see you guys here and see you guys the same off camera. We just don't appreciate, I don't appreciate people being fake and trying to lie, because to be honest with you, most people on YouTube are going to be able to tell. It portrays that way. And some people I also understand. A guy like Clint from Franchise Kicks, I've had some conversations with him. He is kind of a dick, but I also, he's a guy though that I still respect it, because he's built himself and he's got to protect that, and I get that, and I completely respect that. I'm jealous for you guys that Top Pops actually commented, although we've been trying to contact him forever, and he just won't comment to us. And of course I've been from some other people recently have explained the story with him. But hey, if you ever talk to Top Pops, he's always welcome on the show. And we just like to bring people on to hang out. Of course, you guys have been on, but but yeah, he's always more than welcome. He just, I understand we're not on his level, and you guys got the Canadian connection going on over there.
Yeah, like he was.
It's because of Disc Tracker. I'm able to get all.
I forgot. Yeah,
I know people. I know connections.
You just have to throw that in there.
What's funny with that is I told Wayne one of 2 things. We're just going to keep going with that, and we're not ending it, but. We're figuring it's one of 2 things. Either you are going to come out as the real Disc Tracker, or eventually we'll get enough traction where we'll actually get the real Disc Tracker to actually hit us up. What the hell? Or he's laughing. He's sitting. Whoever, if it is someone different, they're sitting back there just laughing at this entire thing. Either way, you know, I just think it's a fun thing to go with.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, yes. For far as us, probably one thing I'll say most common, Wayne Tech every Wednesday night. Every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Come by, hang out with us. It's not pop news anymore. It's pop culture. Although we do talk a lot about Funko on there, but we try to talk about different stuff. We talk about Disney. We talk about anything else pop culture going on in the area, just because that's what we like. We tell you what we like. We have fun. We don't take anything too seriously, and we kind of just hang out. So I think we had Dead Zone on recently, and we're gonna have Simon come back and see us on the 30th. We'll have Simon on the show, but other than that, I just kind of take it as it goes. So I appreciate you guys letting me on. You guys are definitely ones that when you asked me, I said no. Actually, to be honest with you, I was actually kind of surprised you asked me to come on. Be 1,000% honest, because I'm not in the Funko community anymore. Technically, I do Disney, so I was actually rather surprised.
But we don't just do
Funko. We do voice actors. We do a whole.
We're expanding. We're learning to expand. Like we started this way, but now we're trying to get all sorts of people.
And we're also doing a massive revamp and name change in June when we have our time off. So
nice.
Yeah, won't be the Funko Friends podcast anymore. It's going to be something different.
You're going to have to stay tuned for that one.
Yeah.
Well, as I tell a lot of people that we get to know, you ever need anything, just reach on out and I'll be more than happy to help.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you.
That's awesome.
But I wish you guys best of luck with the baby. First one, I love my kids to death, but I don't know if they're planning on having a second one, but the second one usually comes out a little.
Kind of go, what?
She's my crazy one. She's my crazy kid.
Oh, perfect. 2 in the family.
What's funny, she's probably more she might be crazy, but she's probably a little bit more like me as a kid, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what gets frustrating sometimes. But she's crazy, but I love her still at the same time.
Every family.
Simon says, "I told you, Johnny and D, you just don't want to listen.
You just weren't listening." Yeah, I guess maybe he did mention it when
I
he was here on Monday.
don't remember him mentioning it though.
That
would have kept in my mind.
Yeah, and you listen and you register. Here I am usually registering, but some things miss my mind. But anyway,
and I've been wanting to go up, and at some point, maybe I'll actually try to pull it off in the next couple of years. Is to go up to Canada, because I've never been to Canada personally myself. And when I think of vacations, although I live here in Florida, my term of vacation is to sit back on a beach still somewhere, enjoy the sun. And we've done a lot of that. We've done a lot of cruising, stuff like that. But my wife, and because I also grew up in Massachusetts. So I hate the snow. She doesn't understand my hatred for snow. She grew up in California, and so she wants to have like a colder type of vacation. So we have talked about Canada. It's come up a few times, but we'll see.
We have 4 seasons, so you can come like spring, you could come autumn,
or fall.
Because winter, that'd probably be too cold for you. But summer, if she's looking for a colder month, she's not going to come in summer because we get pretty hot temperatures, the same as you down there.
Well, at some point, I got to take the kids to snow. They were born out here in Florida. They've never actually been in. And we had a hailstorm a couple weeks ago, and that's probably the closest to snow these kids have ever been in. Okay. And they were out there playing in it after it was done. So,
wow.
It's the first hailstorm I've ever seen out here in Florida in 10 years. So,
yeah.
Thank you for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Just want to thank our chat too, and all our super chatters that donated money to us. Thank you guys.
The support, guys, the financial support, but also, guys, thank you for participating and help answering a few questions. Always love to see what you guys have to say, comments or questions, whatever you guys put in there. Always great to have you. Again, we will not be here next Saturday for the next 4 weeks, is it? 5 weeks.
5 weeks.
So when's the next in July? July. June.
So wait, I got to be the season finale.
Yes,
I feel special now.
Saved you for last. Yeah, best for last.
So in July we have some big names coming in. We're going to say what they are. We're not going to say what they are, but we have big names coming in.
Yep. We're doing a revamp, so hopefully you guys.
Wait. Then if I'm the season finale, I need to book this now. I need an exclusive because then I want the announcement on Wayne Tech.
Okay.
I'm telling you this now.
Okay.
We got to schedule when you want to do this in 4 weeks, and we want you to make the announcement on Wayne Tech and where it's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
We could do that for sure. So yeah, guys. So enjoy the next 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And we will see you in July.
Yeah, July 1st.
Feels gonna it'll fly by, I'm sure. Yeah. June will go by real fast.
Yeah, we're gonna revamp the look and the names and everything. Gonna come brand new. Guys, check that out.
Brand new look, guys.
Yep.
So enjoy yourself for the next month. Hope you have a lovely month. And we'll keep contact.
And this has been another episode of the Funko Fest.
Take care, guys. I love you a lot.
Take it easy. Stay positive. Did we lose him? Am I still on? Am I still talking? I think they froze. We are still live. I guess this is my show now. I think I'm just going to go with it. And this is my show, and they just completely froze. So this is weird for the ending. So anyways, guys, thank you guys for hanging out. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe as always. And definitely, stay positive. Keep good energy. Come down to Disney World. Hit me up. Let me know. I'll give you good advice. And I can't change. I'm going to go this way. Or they completely lost. And apparently I'm still stuck in the live. This is the weirdest thing ever. This is great for a finale show. I get to take over the show now, although I can't get rid of their items. But yeah, this is a tech takeover. And, we're just going to go with it. And I'm trying to think of what else you guys want to know, talk about. We can talk about some pops back here. We can talk about anything until they eventually come on and cut me off because they didn't end the show yet. So, I appreciate you guys all coming out. If you guys know me, then you know me. If you don't, then, hey, come on by to Wayne Tech. Hey, there they are again. Maybe, possibly, who knows? I figured this was a tech takeover, so,
Oh, yeah.
I just kept talking.
We're still here.
Yeah.